M calls police on my daughter for not playing with her daughter. This is my first time posting. I will try to keep the story short and to the point, but there does have to be some backstory for context. Here we go. This happened about 12 years ago. I had just moved to a small town. My 10-year-old daughter made friends with a girl down the block. The girl didn't have many friends because her mom was drama and nobody in the neighborhood wanted to deal with her. I didn't want to punish the M's daughter for her mom's behavior, and our daughters were thick as thieves in no time. About 6 months later, my daughter comes home from their house crying. Apparently over an argument over who got to play with what Barbie. The other girl called my daughter a nigger. When my daughter became quite visibly upset, the girl told my daughter something to the effect of, "It's not a bad thing. It's just what my mom says you and your mom are when you act like you are better than us. Just stop acting better and you won't be a nigger." The M called pretty quickly to apologize for her daughter talking out of turn and sharing personal family conversations. I explained to her that I was okay with the girls still being friends as long as the four of us could have a sit down and just kinda talk through why that word would be so hurtful to my kid. She agreed, but made comments that made me feel she thought I was overreacting. At the end of our conversation, I made it very clear our daughters would not be around each other until the sit down happened. M snaps. "This is what's wrong with you people. Always playing the race card and making a mountain out of a molehill. You aren't going to punish my daughter because you can't get over yourself." I hung up and that was the end. Or so I thought. 1 month later, my daughter is at the park down the street from our house with the neighbor and her kids. I'm cleaning my house when I got a phone call from the neighbor. Entitled Mom equals M. Me equals me. Neighbor equals N. Police office equals PO. Commanding office equals CO. N. OMG. M is here. She is screaming that the kids can't ignore her kid at a public place. By law they have to play with her daughter. I'm packing up and coming back. Just letting you know this bitch is acting nuts. Me. Do you need me to come? N. Nah. I'm ignoring her. We will be home in a sec. 2 minutes later I get another call and can hear screaming in the background. N. You won't freaking believe this. She called the police on your daughter. The cops are here. You need to get down here. I arrive and my daughter is shaking and crying, thinking she has done something wrong. M is screaming like a mad woman at the top of her lungs about how my daughter being in a public place means she has to play with her daughter. M. So what are you going to do about this? Are you seriously just going to let this girl stay at the park when she is refusing to play with my daughter? P.O. Ma'am, I'm sorry, but as I was saying, there is no law that kids have to play with each other in public parks. If she doesn't want to play with your daughter, she doesn't have to. M. Grab at the walkie-talkie thing on the cop's shoulder. I want to speak to your sergeant or commanding officer or whatever. Someone needs to come do their freaking job. The officer called his commanding officer. I was stunned. I asked if my daughter could sit in my car as she was visibly shaken. He said she could, which of course sent M on another rant. The CO pulls up as she is screaming about how my daughter needs to get out the car and play with her child. CO comes and the officer is trying to explain to him what's going on as she is screaming a foot away. He comes over to me and I tell him the backstory on how this all started. CO. To me at this point, I don't see a reason for you to have to still be here. You can take your daughter home. M. Turning bright red. This is why they are like this. Nobody holds them accountable for anything they do. She should at least get a ticket or something. I don't know what all was said after that. Me, the neighbor, and our kids got out of there quick. I did start looking for an apartment right away and found something about 2 months later. While I was packing, I got a call from M. I let go to voicemail. I hear you're moving. I just wanted you to know if you or any of your kids walk by my house before then, I'm calling the police for harassment. I don't care if it's James. My son that was 2 at the time. And I can't wait to hear what stupid shit you have to say about this when you call me back. I'm not going to lie. I was tempted to call back but didn't. We moved a week later. Thankfully, I'm sending this from my phone, so please forgive any grammar, spelling issues. Edit. I'm trying not to make this super long. I don't know why the police did nothing. But they never did. She called them often. On everyone and anyone. They always basically just apologized. Calmed her down. And left. When I say small town, it is less than 10,000 people and has a lot of farms. So much so that the high school literally has a "bring your tractor to school" day. I heard stories about her kids being wild at school. Hitting teachers, biting, spitting, and they would just get sent home. I can't say it's fact, but it came from my kids and other kids in the area. As horrible as this is going to sound, I think the whole town collectively decided to turn our backs on all of them to not have to deal with her. From the police, to the schools, to the parents. Like and subscribe for more.